Hey everyone, I'm Curtis,
And I'm Shank.
and you're listening to the Good Buds podcast.
Let's roast some cannabis.
Welcome to the Good Buds podcast, the show where good buds smoke good buds and talk about them. This is episode 12, airing Monday, November 2nd, 2020, on Spotify, YouTube, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Thanks for joining us.
This episode is brought to you by, well, us. We have a new podcast called The Good Buds Ghostcast, where we delve into the dankest pits of the internet in search of stories featuring ghosts, ghouls, and other phantasms to burn ceremonial incense, if you know what I mean, and read for your pleasure. Check out the links below, and don't forget to wear your brown pants. Stay spoopy, buds.
So, how you doing today, Shank?
I'm doing magnificent, man. I've had a beautiful day. I was doing a little bit of diddly doodling on the old drawing program there, making up some more memes for the page, and having a good time. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. I've been editing some videos for the page as well, always check out our videos and stuff like that. But funny story. So while I was uh so, um so I
Yeah,
was out I
Kurt,
was out
Kurt,
today.
Curtis,
Um,
you okay, bud?
all right, cards on the table. I'm gonna be completely honest here. I was gonna do a joke about construction. Um, yeah, I'm still working on it. Anyway, be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you like what we're doing here, check out our Patreon page. We have 6 tiers available, including bonus content and access to our Discord channel.
Absolutely right. We would love if you would check out our page and consider donating to the show. Now let's get into the review.
Good Buds Review, Good Buds!
So, Curtis, what are you burning today?
Well, Shank, today I am burning on a sweet, sweet little strain called Blueberry OG.
Hmm.
I got that blueberry yum yum. It's divine. So, this is a hybrid indica dominant. It is a combination of a phenotype of DJ Short Blueberry and OG Kush. Now, I don't know the specific breeder who made this one, but this is what the initial seed was created from. In terms of the weed that I got, it's a semi-dense nugget that is a mix of forest green, olive green, and what's most interesting are these hints of this nice deep purple that just tips out on some of these leaves. Just kind of brushes out at the ends. Very excellent. It's got a very small amount of very dark inlet orange rustic hairs.
Hmm.
So it's kind of hidden behind the purple, so you don't really see a lot of them, but they do peek out just a tiny extra bit. Um,
Nice.
in terms of crystals, not a huge amount, just kind of like a light crystal coating, but that does make sense because it is a somewhat lower THC strain, actually higher in cannabis, or supposed to be more higher in CBD content, but the THC content is around 15 to 16% usually on this strain.
Hmm.
So, very interesting. In terms of the scent, mm, it's got a very sweet, piney, terpy scent to it. Now, you do get some of the skunky, musky scents from the OG Kush, obviously being one of the parents, and you also get light notes of that sweet berry scent in the, deep core of the nug, and obviously that's coming from the DJ Short Blueberry, the other parent
Hmm.
nug. So, a very nice, very sweet smelling nug, obviously good with all the terpenes that come through. Uh, I think it's going to be an overall very excellent strain.
Nice.
What do you got to show and tell for us today? Or should I say smoke and tell? Haha.
Yeah, well, today I've got some lemon Riot for us. This one was grown by Sundial Cannabis, I believe. It is actually, though, it goes by another name, and the other name it goes by is actually Rascal OG, which is a
Hmm.
phenotype of OG Kush. So we got some weed that's related today.
Ooh, cousins.
And SFV OG Kush, which is San Fernando Valley Kush, which is one of the old OG strains.
Right, right.
So it's kind of like on Pimp My Ride. They heard that I like Kush, so they put Kush in my Kush, so I can Kush while I Kush.
God, they put
It's
Kush on
amazing.
that Kush. You got 24-inch Kush there, bro.
You got 24-inch Kushes on this bitch, but it's a hybrid sativa. Beautiful, beautiful looking emerald green nugs with a very thick coating, like a nice fur coat of red hair all over the outside of it, and pretty much just as much crystal on the outside. You get a very nice amount of crystal on the outside of these nugs. They're not super super tightly packed, but they are fairly tightly packed nugs. They're a little bit softer when you squeeze them, but they're another one of those type of nugs that when you throw them into the grinder and you bust them up, they get fluffy, like super fluffy. A little bit goes a long way. As for the smell of this, oh, it's one of my favorite things about this. Oh my goodness, it's like strong lemon. The first thing that hits you is that lemon smell, that citrine or whatever. But it's got the musky, skunky smell too. You know, it's weird. It's got that like kind of like from the OG Kush, just like
Right,
yours. That OG Kush smell is coming
right.
through.
That little skunky, that common
Yeah,
weed smell that you just know it's either weed or a skunk is somewhere.
yeah. And if you're a smoker, chances are you're probably gonna smile when you smell it, right? And
Regardless, exactly.
yeah, so it's got a small hint of herbs in the background, but overall it is extremely sweet smelling. It's like a bouquet of lemons and skunk, which I mean to a lot of people would probably be unappealing, but at least to this bud, it's pretty awesome.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
I'm a
sounds
big fan
very
of this
nice.
lemon smell. It's weird though, man. It's like lemonade, like fresh lemonade, you know?
Right, kind of like one
Like a
of those
lemonade
lemon
stand.
candies almost.
Yeah, almost like lemon candies, like that kind of like that sweet like the lemon candy, like almost like a lemon drop candy, but not. I don't know, like I'm gonna have to see when we take hits of this whether or not it tastes the same as it smells. I certainly hope it does. Before we do try these out, though, I think we should tell people to check out the pictures that we're gonna post
Oh yeah,
on the Instagram.
pictures
You
are
guys
going.
can go, yeah, to our
Pic-
Instagram and check them out, and we'll be posting pictures of these beautiful strains. Curtis will make sure they're properly hashtagged.
Of course, of course. You're going to be able to see all the fancy strains as well as some possible behind the scene content and just general, pictures of
Yeah,
us smoking bongs, smoking bowls, joints,
yeah.
whatever. We're bored.
General miscellaneous fun things, and yeah, like we're absolutely looking forward to sharing those pictures with you, and we're looking forward to sharing our experiences with you as well. So we should try these out,
For
see
show,
how
for
they taste,
show.
right?
Of course, of course. I got a bong packed here. I assume you do as well.
You are correct, sir.
Well then, bro. Lighters out. Tokes
Lighters
kaboke.
up.
Blaze it, bros.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, my lungs. Yeah. How's that tasting, Curtis?
Oh. Whew. It is this amazing ocean breeze. Okay, so Febreze. You familiar with
Yeah.
Febreze company?
Very familiar. I'm following you.
Okay, so it's got this nice, amazing ocean breeze flavor with low fruity tones to it. Now, here's the thing:
Hmm.
it starts off with an artificial tasting kind of flavor, like that artificial
Hmm.
Febreze, ocean breeze kind of flavor, or whatever. But I swear to fucking God, it smooths out into this nice natural flavor. It tastes like I'm literally just like sucking off the ocean in the Bahamas. It tastes amazing, like a fucking ocean beachside resort. It's fantastic. And like I said, it's got that low fruity tones in there, kind of like from the blueberry. So you can kind of taste like the sweetness, but it kind of just mixes together with that skunkiness and it just tastes very nice, very tropical, very relaxing indeed. Um,
Nice.
so how about that lemon rind shake? How's that treating you?
Oh man, it's friggin' awesome. It's got a very sweet, smooth inhale, and when I say sweet, I mean candy sweet. That lemon drop analogy I made before was super accurate. Um, It's got a lot of earthy notes as well as like a bit of that skunky tone kind of pulls through. Um, it's got such a sugary tart aftertaste though. It's like I legitimately just put a lemon drop candy in my mouth and just had it in there
So,
for a while.
so you'd say it's
The
kind of
exhale,
you'd say it's kind of reminiscent of that candy, pretty much.
oh, very much so, very
Very
much
nice.
so. Um, the flavor is very, very, very similar to that, and it has very deep, satisfying exhale. And leaves you with a nice head bump right from the get go. You know, leaves you feeling very, very lifted right from the outset. And I absolutely love that. I love strains that, you know, kind of hit you and give you that nice bump right at the beginning.
Right, kind of just like that nice little shmack, that little punch, that little sprue. That's very
Yeah, it
nice,
makes
man.
it picks you up a little bit, you know, like
Of
kind of makes
course.
you just feel like you took a good hit, you know, like something like you didn't
Right.
just take something
Well,
that kind of like you know doesn't sit well with you.
I'm sure there's a couple other people who have taken some good hits online, so let's see what they have to say on those review sites. How does that sound, Shank?
Absolutely. What's it say about your beautiful blueberry there? Yeah, man. I'd love to hear what some people have to say about your blueberry. What are they talking about?
For show, for show. But before that, as always, these are the opinions of stoners who have already put their opinion online, and we are more stoners adding our opinion to the online.
Opinions.
So the Blueberry OG is pretty well, uh, well, pretty well reviewed as a very happy, very relaxing, and a slightly giggly strain. But all in all, it does have a low psychoactivity. Like I said before, it's a low THC of like 15 to 16%,
Hmm.
much higher in the CBD category, which is good because that makes it a very good anti-anxiety, anti-pain, and an anti-inflammatory weed. Really good for all
Oh,
three of those.
it's really similar to the siren that we smoked in the last episode that I had there.
Exactly.
That's
Actually,
good for
some very
pain.
similar effects to that. So it might have one or two of the same phenotypes in that category. So who knows? Very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
maybe related in some way.
Now one of the things that is also anti, it is anti-munchy. That's right. You get a loss of appetite with this strain, and on top of
Okay.
that, you also do get a little bit of dry mouth. But
Oh,
the two of those do kind of coincide. No saliva, no hunger. But
you're pretty right.
regardless, I got bevs, I got snacks nearby, and I am all set to go for tonight.
Yeah, we are always prepared.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
So Shank, what are they saying about the Lemon Riot?
Well, the Lemon Riot has rave reviews everywhere that I've seen. Like all the sites I went on, pretty much everyone had nothing but glowing things to say about it. Typically, they all say that it's high energy, high focus, great social weed for like get-togethers and gatherings and stuff like that. Not that that's gonna be much help in 2020, am I right?
Oh yeah.
Um, but it's also luckily good for just kind of chilling out and working on a project. Like, you know, if you're doing some art or working on a song or something, it's fantastic for that. And the general consensus, what I've saw most in most locations, was overall intense lemon flavor is fantastic. As an almost direct verbatim quote, and they're not wrong. The flavor is amazing. It's got the most lemony lemon flavor I've tasted. It's like Mr. Krabs being like my money tastes like money, but being like my lemons taste like lemons, and it's pretty much lemony.
Makes
I
sense.
love the crap out of it, man.
Oh yeah. Very nice, very nice. And
Tastes
as
so
we
good.
said before, pictures of these nugs will be on our Instagram. And
Graham,
if you want to follow us on our other social medias, we always got some memes, some statuses, let you know what we're going on through. And
very true. Check out our Facebook page and everything. Links are going to be down
it,
yonder in the description.
exactly. But in the meantime, crap, think where
Yeah,
are our
do you have
joints?
a joint, Curtis? Do you have a joint ready?
I, no. Oh wait, it's harvest time. That's right. Oh, oh, sweet,
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
That.
I love that. Oh,
Oh, oh,
oh,
oh. No.
oh it's,
Well,
well,
yeah. I guess we gotta wait till next year now.
yeah, we'll have like you know, there's always next year. We got our stashes right, so we're all right.
Exactly. But you know what? Now that we got our joints, we got our lighters here. You know what they say, bros? 420 somewhere. Lighters out. Let's blaze it.
Let's blaze it.
Ooh.
Oh man, that tastes so good.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna want to put this out. Man, this is tasty as hell, brother. Is yours hitting you just as good in the joint? How's that treating you in the joint? Feel
And
good?
I think in a joint, it does detract a little bit more from the sweetness, and it definitely gives more of the rich, the cushy taste to it. You know, I I personally prefer it out of the bong just because it just had that nice ocean flavor to it that just made me be like,
Mm.
wow. But out of a joint, I'm not complaining. Still tastes great.
Yeah.
Still tastes good. And but well, you know what?
Hey,
Let me know. Let me know
I was
how
gonna say
yours
pretty much
taste.
the same thing, man.
That's what you were
Like
gonna say.
it's a yeah, I was gonna say pretty much the same thing. It's like the skunkiness definitely comes to the forefront a heck of a lot more. But that sweetness is still coming through, man. It's like somebody fucking sprinkled pixie sticks on this thing. And honestly, I don't have much of a sweet tooth. If you ask literally anybody in my life, I will massacre a family-sized bag of chips faster than I will eat a like moderate-sized slice of cake. Like, cause I'm just not a sweet tooth guy. But this weed, it makes me feel like I should be. You know what I mean? I
I get
like
what
it.
you're saying.
Yeah, I like it, man. It's beautiful. Oh my goodness. Like I just yeah, I'm a big fan of this strain. And this one, like I was saying, it's grown by Sundial Cannabis. I think Canadian company, I believe. Well, yeah, because yeah, it's dried Canada. It's
Right.
grown,
Now,
grown here in Canada.
Shank, I just
Love it.
sent you a message with a picture containing it, and a little surprise. Can you tell me what's so special about that? And for the people watching our YouTube video, you'll see the picture as well. It'll be up on the screen.
Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and look at that now. And would you look at that? That would be my Bud Curtis burning out of what appears to be my favorite type of paper. It is an absinthe Juicy J's.
I was able to find those today, as well as a couple other papers, and I gotta say, bro, you are absolutely right. I hate to make you jealous right now, but this is a really good paper.
Man, I love them.
It
Like they're my
rolls really
favorite papers
smooth.
out there. Like
It
they're
tastes really good, and
amazing.
it's pretty good. I made a nice little cone here, but it's it's burning nice, burning smooth, mm. And I felt like it would complement the sweetness of the blueberry a little bit.
Yeah, the absinthe. Well, the cool thing about the absinthe papers is that they have like it's strange because a lot of people say that they have a black licorice flavor, but I've never found that. It doesn't taste like
No,
black licorice at all.
oh no,
It's got a very distinct flavor to it that is not even remotely licoricey in like texture. Like if you want that, buy Black Magic Juicy J's. There are Juicy J's called Black Magic Juicy J's,
that one
and
is
they have a very
supposedly black licorice, but even then, I don't
yeah,
really taste that. It still
but not
just tastes.
distinctly. Yeah,
It still
but with
tastes
the
like a
absinthe,
really
no.
nice, weird
Yeah.
flavor, which I do need to get more of those too. But
Yeah, and the absinthe ones are like just very sweet. Like you're right about the sweetness like aspect, like bumping up the blueberry there.
right,
But yeah, it's they're magnificent papers, yeah. And he sent me a picture of what
I
appears to be his well manicured nails, holding a very well rolled cone of a Juicy J with a nice burning cherry on it, and one of the fairy's arms caught on fire with his beautiful new PC, which will help him render the videos that you beautiful people will get to watch
exactly.
in the background of the image. You know what? I think that's a gram worthy picture. Maybe slap a filter on that bitch and
I'm gonna throw that up.
shimmy her onto the fans. Yeah.
Oh
But
yeah. Um, but yeah, on top of the absinthe papers, I also picked up some OCBs, your favorite
yes,
papers that you are currently using that you're allowed to get,
represent.
and I've used a couple of those, and those burn very nice. A little fast for me, but I think it still works
Yeah.
nicely. It's really good if you roll using a machine. Like if you try
Yeah,
to
roll them tight, and if you baptize them, like I
Mhm.
don't know if you baptize your joints or not. I certainly do, but you baptize it, you want to get a little slobbery with it.
Oh yeah.
Just kind of, I know some people do, some people don't. I don't judge. Like, stoners do their own thing, and I know now in COVID times, if you're sharing joints with people, you probably shouldn't be sharing joints with people. Just roll individual joints. There's
Right.
no
Just
harm
roll
in that.
pinners. Fuck it.
Yeah, COVID, folks. But like but if you are gonna share joints, then I mean, baptizing them might be a little sketchy. If you're, some people might not be okay with it. I mean, personally, I don't give a fuck, but teach their own. But that joint looks like it's very well rolled, and that Juicy J is probably gonna burn nice for you too, because they're the best burning flavored paper out there that I've had. Where did you say they were made?
They were made in Alcoy, España.
España. That's amazing, man. So they were made in Spain.
Made in Spain.
That's fantastic, man. Like, I love that. And so you said, what other types did you get? You got OCBs.
I got OCBs, I got
Represent.
Juicy J's Absinthe, and I also got Juicy J Maple Syrup.
Yes, sir.
Canadians.
Yes, syrup. Dude, that's awesome, man. I'm proud of you, buddy. I'll make a Canadian out of you yet. But
I
no,
live
that's
in
actually,
Michigan.
to be
It's the
fair,
closest
a
I
lot
can
of
get
it- a
while
lot
still
of
being in
maple syrup comes
America.
from- Yeah. Well, dude, honestly, man, like
Other
you-
than
you-
Minnesota. That's too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. Oh man, but so that's, and yeah, the wonderful thing is I think with those papers you can get, like, I mean, I remember because in Nova Scotia, our audience might not know this, but flavored papers are illegal for people to sell. I mean, I can buy them on the internet as a consenting adult, but on the internet, like, is the only place I can get them. You can't get them in any stores anywhere. Because this dude in our province, politician, really pushed hard just before legalization, like just shortly before. Because he knew that if he did it after legalization, that people would be able to protest it. Like adults, legal adults, could go out and openly protest it in public. And he didn't want that, because if it was still illegal, then it would be a lot harder for people to go out on the streets and be like, you don't take flavored papers because I'm rolling my joints with it, Like, you can't. It's a lot harder to do. More awkward, at least. So there was very minimal protest, and he banned them. Like, gone. 100%.
Right.
Curtis knows this. I told him.
Very unfortunate, which is why I'm sending him
Yeah.
a secret care package containing some absent papers, unless it gets intercepted by the government. But you won't know.
Yeah, it's a secret. But so yeah, and that's a cool thing is like, so like I remember I went to the local smoke shop near where I lived, and coolest, it was probably one of the better days of my life if it wasn't for the fact that it was tainted by the fact that I knew that they were going to be gone forever ish shortly after that. I went in and I wanted to get some absinthe papers. So I was like, yeah, can I get some absinthe Juicy J's while you guys are still legally allowed to sell them? And they were like, sure. They've been marked down. I'm like, oh, well, that's fantastic. How much? And they were like, yeah, they've been marked down 75%. And I was like, wait, what? Like 75%? And she's like, yeah. I was like, how many do you have? She's like, well, we have one full unopened box and like a couple left in this box. And I was like, I want all of them.
Yes.
Like, I want all of them. She's like, the whole box. I was like, I want all of them. I was like, I want every single pack of those absinthe papers. I want all of them. Like, just all of them. And so she was like, okay, like, no problem. So she like literally rang them up individually, and it was incredibly cheap. It was like fucking stealing cheap. But like, it was like wish.com cheap, right?
Oh yeah.
And so like
I have
fucking
more on
bought
that
them all.
later. I have more on that later.
Yeah, more on that later. More on that later, folks. But it was like wish.com cheap, and fucking I bought them and I went home, and for I want to say months, just to make it sound like I didn't smoke as much weed as I did,
Bullshit.
but it was probably like month, not
A
plural.
month.
But I smoked the shit out of those. They were like my go-to papers for like until I ran out of them. And when I got to the last pack, I remember that last pack. It's kind of like a gram. When you buy a gram, you're like the first half of the gram is gone in the first joint. And then, you take like a pinch and then a pinch and then a pinch and a pinch and a pinch and a pinch until the pinches get smaller, you know?
Pinch to the
And like,
pinch, of course.
yeah, so like you're like, I'm only gonna smoke a little bit, to start with, and then you smoke like half the gram, and you're like, okay, cool, and then you only have half a gram left, and you're like, so you smoke like not even a quarter of that, and then
Right.
so it was like that, and that last pack lasted for way longer than probably all the other packs. Like I think I had the last one on New Year's. Actually, it was like New Year's Eve. I had rolled the last of that, and it was after the papers were illegal because it passed very shortly after. But like it was already passed. They were just biding time basically, and so I smoked the shit out of them, and I think I smoked the last one. It was New Year's Eve. I can't remember what year. And I'm not gonna rack my brain for it because it's probably not that important.
Right.
But I love those papers, and the fact that you're sending those to me, like that, honestly touches my soul. Like it feels good, man. Like real good feels.
Oh yeah. Well,
And I'm gonna have to send you something down too that's above board and completely legal and isn't a sheep sex doll.
the show, and definitely should probably wait until after maybe the election time because I think it's gonna get a little hectic with posting and shipping and everyone posting in ballots and stuff from America. But
You are very correct about that. And speaking
absolutely,
of the election, I think we should mention
we have we have a
something
couple.
about it.
I think we have a
Now,
couple
should
updates on stuff. So
yeah,
I think we should. Yeah,
yeah, you want to hit it?
let's get into some weed news worldwide. So, guys, what we're going to start off with first is a quick little update on something we talked about over the past couple weeks, and that is the 2020 election ballot for marijuana legalization. This is something we've been talking about before, and this is kind of our last chance before, you know, election day, because it's kind of tomorrow or the next day compared to when this releases.
And as we said before, we don't tend to get any political in any way, and we don't have any. These views are not for any stances on any other issues except for cannabis legalization.
That is
Just
the
as a
only
disclaimer,
thing we care about.
we are a
Is
one-issue podcast, and that one issue is cannabis legalization. That's
we
the only political issue we'll comment on.
we will
That's
support
it.
a specific individual if they agree with cannabis, but we're not going to tell
100%.
anybody to vote for any one person. Vote for the specifically the thing of marijuana.
Vote for policies, not parties. Look into who
Yes,
you vote for and make sure that you're voting for things you believe in, not just for
absolutely.
parties. Like just and weed. Vote yes for weed.
Just vote
Yes
yes
for
for weed
everyone and getting weed. But here, Curtis, get to those updates, man. Let
for
these
sure.
folks know what's going on in the
So rather
wonderful
than
world of
going through the
legalization.
whole list, I'll just do a quick Braz statement. If you go to leafly.com, which is where I'm currently getting my news source, they have a current page with the links in the description below that leads you through all of the election 2020 things that you need to know for legalization on ballots in specific states that it affects. Uh, as of right now, the ones where it really affects are Arizona, Mississippi, Montana, New Jersey, and South Dakota, with another thing going into Oregon. But again, check the description below, read it up on yourself. If you live in any of these states, go out and vote on these prepositions to make marijuana legalization in your state happen, whether it's recreational or legal or medical.
Yeah,
Go out
the
and
more
do the
states,
part
the
that you
more
can.
states that get behind it, and the more state power that goes into this, the more the federal government will consider legalizing on a federal level. They're already considering it, but it
Abs-
will be another point in legalization's favor if more states start standing behind legalization. So it's just a great idea all around.
Absolutely. And based on recent Gallup polls, Arizona, New Jersey, and South Dakota are all looking very positive for legalization. Mississippi is still half and
Arizona.
half. It's still iffy, but again, we won't know until tomorrow or the day after that. So, again, last chance. If you
Yep.
can, Go out, make a difference, vote.
Yeah. And legalization is a wonderful thing, and that actually leads really well. The fact that legalization can lead to great things, actually, it leads perfectly into one of my stories. One of the great things that legalization of marijuana can lead to. Right
What is that?
now, in Edmonton of Canada, there's this grower, like this Parkland Flower Incorporated is what they're called. And they're like a micro growery, I guess you would call them. So they're like a small batch grower of quality cannabis,
Like a
right?
microbrewery, but they make those,
Yeah,
super fancy buds.
exactly. Like those buds that we saw from those people that we emailed and they never emailed us back yet. We'll get into that some other time. If they don't email us back at all, then we'll like flame them for it, but I'm not doing it now.
Exactly.
But anyway, they're a micro grow place, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the owner or one of the co-founders has like big picture ideas. Like she's thinking outside the box. So what she's thinking now, you know, wine tours.
Yeah, like through a vineyard,
Yeah, you go through the vineyard, you like see all the grapes, then you see
pick a
the
couple,
squishing with, you get to squish some with your feet and you giggle, and then
a
you and
wine
your friends
tasting
have
after.
cheese and crackers and like, you test different types of wine,
Right.
that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, and you get to
Okay.
see like the mass vineyard, and then you get to walk through like little parts of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
whole
and like
nine
the
yards.
processing, and they go through the history of it and everything else, right? And it's really nice. It's a good time. I've been
Yeah,
on one before, and it was genuinely a good time. I'm not a
same,
huge wine fan, but I liked it.
same.
I
We
like
have a
cheese, and they had lots of cheese.
Yeah, same here. We have a couple here in Michigan, which is
Yeah,
surprising because everyone thinks we're all apples and cherries.
I know, right?
We
No,
do
that's
have a
not true because
tiny
we're
bit of
apples
grapes.
here. We're apples and cherries here, but we also have wicked vineyards because frequently those three things go together in microclimates.
Exactly.
I read up about that one time on some kind of fucking blog. I can't remember what it is. Look it up on Google. You'll be like, but aside from that, what this woman is thinking is, why can't we do that with weed farms?
That would be
I
incredible.
know. I know, right? It's like it's brilliant, right? So basically what they did is they took people from Nova Cannabis around their Parkland facility, just kind of showing off their plants and like letting them take pictures and stuff of the like plants that are growing and everything else and that kind of thing.
Right.
And these were professional people, right? So these were like investors. Like, so where they got the idea from is they had investors come in and they gave them a tour of their facility. They didn't, I don't know if they let them smoke or not. I mean, but oh no, hold on, we'll get to that. But they were an investor. I don't know whether the investors got to test or anything like that, but they gave them a tour of the facility and let them take pictures of different things and that kind of thing, right?
Right.
Just to get a scope of the product and the procedures that go into making the product the quality that it is. And so they're hoping that they can offer that exact same experience to the public soon. And they want to add a tasting room and a sales area. So you'll be able to go on the wine tour or the weed tour. Like, you know how we both consider ourselves weed sommeliers, right?
Right.
Like,
Wheat
we like to take our
sommeliers.
time and appreciate different strains of weed. But,
Smokaliers, if you will.
smokaliers, if you will. Yes, that sounds way classier. Fucking smokalier. So like,
The reviews were wrong.
you'll
I
be
have the munchies.
goddamn reviews. Well,
Munchie
hey,
alert.
like we always say, they affect everybody differently. You know, when you smoke it, blah blah blah. That's why reviews exist. That's why this podcast exists, right? Because it's gonna treat you different than it treats us. This is just how it's treating us.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the munchies yet, which shocks me. Usually these sativas get the energy pumping, and I get hungry. But it's awesome because they called it, and I quote, a farm to table experience.
Hmm.
So it's like, I would see they missed a fucking opportunity. I wish I was their marketing manager because I would have absolutely told them they should have gone with, instead of farm to table, it should have been farm to rolling tray.
I think farm to table
It's
sounds nicer.
farm to rolling tray experience.
Farm to grinder.
Or farm to tray experience. Yeah, just a farm to tray experience. And like, just have a rolling tray and have like sell rolling trays in your motherfucking gift shop that say that, from farm to tray, and then have your fucking trays, your fucking farm's logo. Like, God, it makes itself, man. I need to start making merch for us, brother.
Do you think that they
So,
would have their like self-trimming rooms where, people can come in and trim their own weed that they can
that'd
take
be
home?
neat. That would be neat. Like, I mean, honestly, like if you could, like, almost like, dude, you know those like I don't know if you have these down in the States. I'm sure you do, but they're like Noble Grape or whatever, where you can go to them and pay them money, and like you air quotes make wine, and like they keep it there and they monitor it and they take care of it and they do everything they need to do with it. Basically, all you do is like pour the yeast into it or whatever and like fucking shake it a little bit so that
Right.
technically, legally, you made it. And
Um,
then they store it there, and then when it's done, they bottle it for you and you can go pick it up.
I'm gonna tell you this: if a company does that here in America, I don't know about it because everyone I know that has claimed to make alcohol literally makes it in 5-gallon buckets in their basement, and I've seen
Oh,
them
yeah,
do
for
it.
sure. You can do that too. It's super easy.
I had a friend
You
who
barely
made
need means.
moonshine, a friend who made vodka, a friend whose parents made beer, and a friend whose mom
Moonshine's
and her
dangerous.
best friend made a lot, and I mean a fucking lot of red wine.
That's magnificent, man.
Like in a basement,
Uh,
like where a couple feet away we were sitting in a septic tank smoking weed. It was a clean septic tank, but
yes,
story for
yes.
another
I
day.
assume. I hope so.
Story for another
No,
day.
that's
But
yeah, that's story for another day. But no, that's and that's the thing
yeah,
is like it's like
in
one
there
of the
they
yeah like
literally had like those fucking gallon things that they put on top of water coolers, like those
oh yeah yeah
super massive 10-gallon water jugs. Yeah,
yeah they're 18 liters.
18 liters. Yeah, they've
Yeah.
had like 5 of those filled at a time.
Oh wow. Well, dude, honestly, it's like that reminds me like there have been times like where like I would fill those with smoke, making a lung out of them, right? Like, so that's a
Oh yeah.
fucking huge volume. Like, you'd
Yeah.
share that between like 10 people, but making wine in those, that would be like, it's, I know my stepdad used to make beer,
They got through them like
and it
quick
was
too.
okay. Oh,
Like
yeah,
they
no,
sold
because it's like cheap, barely alcoholic hooch. So, like, you kind of fucking, you
it,
drink it,
they
and
made it a
like,
little strong. So, but
yeah,
yeah,
you get pretty fucking hammered off of it.
they still
But
would make a couple, sell a couple here, but
yeah.
yeah,
And
rather
they
than a
pour sugar into it too.
but
You
yeah,
gotta pour. They always like pour sugar into it and make it like it's like Kool-Aid, but
But yeah, rather than
alcohol.
have a company, or if that's the case, I don't know if that's the case because, like I
Yeah.
said, everyone I know who has made alcohol literally made the alcohol themselves.
Well, yeah, and I mean that's definitely an option here too, right? Like that's like a legal option. Like you can make your own wine at home and everything else, right? But there's
Okay.
like these companies that you can just for the convenience sake, basically they take care of the entire process for you. So you go there, you pick what kind of wine you want, like how many bottles you want and everything else. Then you basically get to
See,
make it,
that
you
kind
know? Like
that
you
just
go
sounds
in.
like one of those things a rich girl does just for the hell of it.
Oh, it's definitely basic. It's absolutely what I would consider to be a basic activity. Like getting a pumpkin spiced anything, or wearing Uggs, or wearing yoga pants as pants, which I mean isn't wrong, and I'm not going to
Anyway,
complain about it. But
so
it's basic. But so anyway, it's like yeah, so it's like I think it'd be cool if they did that with weed, where you could go into this place and like be like, I want that strain right there, and I want to like grow it, but I don't want to grow it at my house because that's a lot of fucking work. And you guys are here, and you're already growing your own stuff. So if you just kind of grew your stuff, and every now and then went and checked on my stuff, that'd be cool, and I'll pay you money. And then all I need to do is check in on it every couple weeks. I go pop in, see the progress,
oh
that
yeah,
kind of thing. Talk to them about what stage it's in, blah, blah, blah. Feel involved in the process. And then, when it comes to harvest time, I get to go in,
trim it
pre
up,
trim the buds, like trim the leaves. Like once I
leave it
go
up
into
to
the full
leave it up to
flowering stage.
dry, go somewhere for another 3 days, come back, and
Yeah.
then just gather up your
Drop it,
weed.
like snip it, then, let them cure it with their curing process to make sure it's properly cured, like, and they would
Right.
cure it to make sure it's like perfect, like
Yes.
100% best grade it could be. And then I get to go pick it up, and technically, because I was involved in the process, I could say I grew it.
Sounds like a dick
That
move, but
way
at
I
the
could
same
say it.
time, it would still be cool. That would be a cool process, and I definitely would still get involved.
Yeah.
Just because it would be
Yeah, that's
nice
what
to
I'm
have
saying.
a professional grower going through it as opposed to, me.
Absolutely. And if they made that a service for people in general, it'd be really cool because then older people could potentially pay them less money than it would cost them to go out and buy
Right.
like marijuana for like pain treatment or anything else or that kind of thing. It might cost less overall for the yield they get for them just to pay the company to grow it
Right.
for them. So
Right.
then these older people who don't have the ability to do the gardening and the maintenance and everything else and like concentrate on the lighting and the timing, all the shit that goes along with a really good quality grow, would be able to have that done for them, and all they would need to do is essentially pick it up.
Absolutely.
You know,
And I think it would be cool to have, that kind of experience where you just go in and, I mean, even though it
Yeah.
is your plant, you do get to kind of fucking tear it down and everything. But
Mhm.
I do have an unfortunate, but also very fortunate story about tearing down plants that I think you were a little familiar with because we were kind of having a little discussion
Oh
before the
man.
show on who gets to tell the story because we kind of found it
Like
around the same time.
I agree entirely that you do deserve to. You do based on timestamps. You found it a little bit before I did, and
And
it's in your wheelhouse. It's in your jurisdiction. So I'm
exactly,
gonna let you take it. But we did find this at the same time separately. Neither one of us knew the other one had found it. We just
exactly.
like both were like, oh my god, this
So,
story needs to be told. So Curtis hit them with this, man. This is nuts.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the DEA is seeking contractors capable of burning 4 tons of marijuana per day.
4 tons.
They are
Oh my
looking
god.
they are looking for a contractor who can burn at least 1,000 pounds of marijuana per hour for 8 hours straight. Because the
That's
DEA every year seizes millions of marijuana plants
wait, how much per hour?
and literally tons of raw cannabis, which eventually end up being destroyed, and their contractor
Where
they are running out of contractors essentially.
where
So
do we sign up? Send it to us. Send it.
that's
Send it.
exactly. Send
Where do I
it
sign up?
to
Is there like
us.
some kind of line? Do I
I'm,
have to like? Is there a form I need to fill out?
I'm trying to find out. The work
No,
would
man, this is
start
amazing.
January
Like,
1st of
because
next
we
year.
could seriously let's.
Hold
We
on.
are technically a corporation,
Hold
right? We're the
on.
Good Buds Broadcast
Hold.
Corporation for those.
Hold
Yeah.
your titties. The work would start January 1st of next year, and the contract would expire in 2026 unless terminated sooner. The deadline to send information for would-be contractors was Friday.
Aw, missed it. We would have gotten it too. We would have been like, listen, we will do it for free.
We
Like
would
every other
yeah.
company out there, like, because they always go with the lowest bidder. Like, that's how the government works, right? So other companies would be like, we can do it for $1.8 million. And they'd be like, 1.8, we can do it for $1.6 million.
Free.
And me and Curtis would come in and be like, hey there, we're with the Good Buds Broadcast
Nope, not even.
Corporation.
Just go in with free.
Yeah, we'd go in there and we'd be like, hi, we'll do it for free. And they'd
No,
be like,
that's too
like
friendly,
for free,
Shank.
free?
Shank.
Like, yeah, literally all it would cost you guys is the cost that it would cost to ship it to us.
Shank, you
That's
seem to not
literally it.
understand. This is the DEA. This is a government entity. You literally just type free. They give it to you.
Yeah, just type free. Yeah, that's true. You're not wrong. Yeah, free. Like how much? It's like how much are you guys gonna do it for?
Free.
Yep.
Free. Send
Sign
it
here.
to us. In fact,
Sign here.
we will pay for the
Sign here.
shipping.
No, I don't know.
Dude,
I would not want to pay to ship. How much weed
Are you
is it?
fucking kidding me? We have to burn fucking 4
4
tons of marijuana per day. Do you know how much we could sell that for?
Yeah, but dude, we can't because the DEA is giving it to us.
Exactly. Easy money.
Wait,
They
oh
don't
my
want
God,
it.
You're right. That's how most drugs are. The DEA gives it to people and they sell it, and then they bust people and put them in jail and have them make cheap products.
And they give it back to us, and we
And
do
then
the
they give
same.
it back to them.
We're the
And then they
middleman.
give it to us. So yeah, we're the guys
No.
that give it to the guys that get busted by the guys and go, okay, we're good. Yeah, we're all right. We're at the part in the chain where we don't get hurt. So yeah.
Okay.
By the way, if any DEA agents are listening to this, this is a
Nope.
fictional scenario.
Hold up.
We know we're not going to get the contract. We missed the cutoff anyway.
Anyway,
Don't fucking investigate us. We're
to
fine.
avoid potential contract highs, there must be proper ventilation and no smoke buildup will be allowed. Other mandates include closed circuit cameras that capture the entire process, which DEA reserves the right to access, as well as background checks and regular drug tests of all personnel. Armed DEA agents and contractors will be present during scheduled burns. The work is also very hush-hush, so whoever gets the job shouldn't expect to regale friends with stories of the latest large-scale federal weed-burning sesh. So,
Disappointment all around. That does not sound fun at all.
nope,
I'd rather
they're
just be a
going...
fly on the wall while they're doing it.
Are you kidding? I would rather just skydive over.
That's dude. Oh my god,
Dude, if
all
we just
right,
got
all right,
wingsuit...
you guys,
If we got
all right, go to
wingsuits...
our Patreon right now. Donate money to us. If we get enough money, we will both skydive. But that's like we're talking like what, like
Dude, we don't even have to
how much?
skydive. We'll just, like, get wingsuits.
$6,000.
We'll just get wingsuits, we'll jump out of a plane, we'll run through, and the fucking smoke will just hit us in a huge column, and it'll just be so fabulous.
Now here's the deal: if this podcast gets $6,000 worth of donations in 24 hours after the release of this episode, then we'll both go skydiving. See, that's the
But
thing, Curtis. It's not gonna happen, so you won't go skydiving. We'll just
I
wingsuit
want to go
at some point.
skydiving, so I don't give a fuck. Let's do it.
Yeah, we'll go skydiving. We will.
But yeah.
Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. My other half is very permissive. She will literally allow me to do fucking damn near anything I want to do in my life. And actually, she's extremely supportive of 90% of the ridiculous things that I intend to do, you know, and that I have done, or that I currently continue doing. But two of the things that she has explicitly said that she will, like, leave me and never speak to me again if I put her through the trauma of watching me do them. One of them is skydiving, unfortunately, and the other one, basically, and the other one is buying a motorcycle. And I was like, "Are you serious? I've like had a motorcycle in the past. I've owned one." Like, what do you mean?
Do you own
Like,
one currently?
No, I
Well,
do not.
good reason for it.
And I'm not gonna. Yeah, and that's what I mean. And no, that's the thing is the other one. I never got injured in any way with it or anything like that, or had any accidents or that kind of thing. It was a shitty old bike and it broke down, and like it kind of was an inconvenient spot for it to break down. It was like like I pulled over on the side of the highway because it was making funny noises and it just kind of quit on me. So I just never got another one, never bothered, right? Because fuck it. Like, they're not really that freeing, right? I mean, it's people are like, yeah, it's freeing, but when I'm like, yeah, I want to go camping and bring somebody with me, it's not so freeing. So I figured I'm fine without it, and so I told her that's absolutely not a ridiculous thing to ask of me because I've had friends who've gotten in motorcycle accidents, and I've had friends that have gotten in accidents and lived, and I've had friends that have gotten in accidents and did not live. So I'm not like keen to. I know I'm gonna die someday for some reason, but avoiding all existential crises. I just would rather not do anything that would upset her in that way for no reason, And I don't really feel the urge to do it. I'm not one of those get your motor running kind of guys. Though I look good in chaps.
Well then.
But no, it's that's crazy though that the DEA's got that fucking burn going, and to the company that got the contract, I'm sure those professional people will burn that harmless plant to the ground and not enjoy a little bit of it. But the birds in the area are gonna be fucking baked.
Bastards.
Yeah, yeah, it's you coughed there. Yeah, I heard that.
Got any other stories for us?
Assholes. But speaking of weed being taken for shitty reasons, would you like to hear a really funny story about how not weed was taken for shitty reasons?
Okay then.
Well, all right. So I was on a website. It's called Gandrapreneur. First of all, I love the website name. Link will be in the description. And they have an article here where thieves mistakenly stole hundreds of hemp plants, thinking that it was pot, like thinking that it was the dank dank.
It was
in France,
just hemp
this
though.
happened. Yeah, this is the international one. So thinking it was that good, they stole hundreds of plants. So what it was is a group of thieves in France was caught stealing plants from an industrial hemp farm in the belief that they were getting THC-rich cannabis. That is a quote. So basically, 6 dudes got arrested in. Let's see if I can pronounce this correctly. If we have any French listeners out there, correct me in the comments. I don't know how you're gonna be because you're just gonna be able to. Either way, Nouvelle Squin what Squitain Squitain Squitain. Okay, Nouvelle Squitain. It's like Squitaine. Anyway, it's a region in France, and so they got busted, and they spent 2 nights. So not just one, but 2 nights stealing hemp plants from an industrial hemp farm. Not a single one of them were like, "Hey guys, this isn't weed." Like,
them tried to like smell it, like for
look at
a
it,
very clear skunky smell.
or just look at it, just like look directly at it.
Well,
with
they
your
probably
eyes.
did. Saw the pot leaf, and they're like,
"Oh my god, tomato plants." So, so it's in So basically, what they reported is that some 2,000 square feet of plants were stolen. The prosecutors currently believe that the thieves thought they were stealing cannabis plants and not hemp. They're going to be charged with aggravated theft and violence with a weapon, apparently, after having fired a shotgun. Oof. When they were discovered by farmhands, which is kind of crazy. So, yeah. They didn't hit anybody, though. Nobody was injured. Nobody got hurt. That was the second night they were stealing the plants, and they got arrested the next day.
Very nice, very nice.
So they probably wouldn't have gotten caught if they hadn't, fucking fired a shotgun at farmhands.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
well, I don't know whether they were discovered and then they fired the shotgun or what. I don't know the sequence of events, but they got found out. They fired a shotgun. Didn't injure anybody, at least from what the article's telling me. But yeah, they were arrested the very next day, which is fucking duh. Like when you're that stupid, you're too dumb to be able to visibly notice the difference over 2 days. Like that means they had a full day worth of sunlight and fucking like chilling out with the other plants to be like, okay, let's like look at this and see what the quality's like, and like look at it and be like, okay, why aren't there any giant buds or anything? Like, why is this just a fibrous fucking plant with like weed leaves on it that's a little bit sticky, but like there's no weed,
right.
like why, like what's going on here,
I think they would figure it out.
Like
but...
they didn't even do it, like they didn't even bother, and that's just dumb. And so, so weed is illegal in France still. So if you're listening to this from France, I don't know French for I'm really sorry that your government's dumb and can't legalize yet, but hopefully they figure it out. And if you can vote for it, vote for weed. Vote yes on weed. That's like our general thing. Vote yes on weed. So it's illegal in France because they have very strict rules for CBD products, which just as recently as 2018, hemp has never been prohibited. So hemp's always been allowed in France. Actually, fun fact, they're the largest grower of industrial hemp in Europe. Which is
interesting.
So yeah, and their laws say that hemp has to contain less than 0.2% THC.
Right.
So basically, they have reduced some penalties and stuff like that, and they're working on replacing cannabis-related cannabis charges with fines, so that like they're not like locking people up or like taking people to jail. Like just they're gonna take people. Hopefully. So basically what the article also says is that the confusion isn't an uncommon occurrence. In the US, both thieves and law enforcement have regularly confused industrial hemp for THC-rich cannabis. So basically, yeah, there's like a few articles here, or actually a few little bullet point things about what's happened in the States, just to kind of tie this over to things that happened there. But in 2018, a Tennessee hemp farmer was involved in a car chase and shootout with a group of thieves who mistook his hemp crop for cannabis. Yeah, so that's crazy. In Texas, a hemp delivery truck driver was arrested and jailed for a month because police couldn't tell the difference between hemp and cannabis. And in May, an Oregon hemp farm sued 2 different sheriff's offices after law enforcement wrongfully seized and destroyed a crop worth of about $2 million of industrial hemp. This is crazy, man. People gotta get educated. There's a big difference between hemp and cannabis. Big difference.
Oh yeah.
Same plant, totally different.
Completely different.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it drives me bonkers, man. Doesn't that get to you sometimes?
It does get to
That,
me.
like,
I mean, people need to understand, like, well, not that, but on top of that, people need to just stop stealing weed in general. Just fucking vote to get it legalized, all that shit. Understand the difference, educate yourselves. But more importantly than all of that, Shank, how you feeling right now?
Man, I feel magnificent. This stuff is incredible. It's given me such a high energy, like fucking bip and lift. Like, I feel good. I feel like I'm moving. It's great, man. It's an awesome strain. The flavor is still in my mouth. That may be because I keep lighting this joint. But it's really, really good, man. I friggin' love the crap out of it. Like, I love it. It's a beautiful strain. How's yours treating you?
Pretty good. I'm definitely, a little uplifted, definitely relaxed, but I'm feeling happy. But I'm kind of with it a lot more than I usually am. Usually by now I'm like, okay, I'm pretty fucking high. Like, what's up, bros? All that. But no.
The indicas are
like
usually...
like I said, this is a very low psychoactive strain. But in terms of pains and aches, like, I did work this morning at my actual job and barely feels like it. Like, all my joints and everything, they're not stiff. I'm not stressed. I'm just calm, chilled, and relaxed. Everything's good. But I do have another bong packed here.
And I've got this joint here right in front of me. I can hit the lighter to it again, but make sure she's going good.
In which case, this is our last toke of the episode, boys. So, lighters out. Let's blaze it.
There's it.
Ooh.
Jeez, that's tasty stuff, man. I'm loving it.
Oh yes, very good. Again, I have blueberry OG. Very nice.
I got that lemon Riot.
Also very nice. And still just got that nice ocean breeze taste to it.
And I got lift, man. I keep getting picked up. Like, someone's grabbing me by my shoulders and just, like, picking me up every time I take a puff. It's awesome, man. It's so great. It's like that movie, I don't know if you remember, like, it was like Seventh Man or something like that, or Sixth Man. It's like the one where the dude on the basketball team, his homie died, and he, like, came out as an angel and, like, lifted him up and shit. Very 90s movie.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
Alright, I'm gonna have to look that up, and, like, once I figure it out, I'm gonna post it on our Facebook as, like, a random post that's just gonna be, like, I'll wait until after this episode comes out, and, like, then I'll post what or I'll put it in the description if I figure it out.
Put it in the description, yeah.
Yeah.
But for right now, everybody, I think it's time that we roll one for the road. We get it going. We're running out of time here. So, roll one for the road, and we will see you on the next episode of the Good Buzz Podcast.
That's right. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and just scream about this at the top of your lungs in the middle of the night, wherever you are. Just like if you're in your bedroom or the road, or just when you think it's late enough, just scream about this podcast to people.
And speaking of screaming late at night, don't forget to check out the Good Buds Ghost Cast, our new podcast where we tell scary stories and, hopefully spook you a little bit. Very spooky.
Yeah. Bring your good weed in your brown pants.
Exactly. Later, buds.
Later.